The only weird thing I ever had was I had a really well-known board-certified construction litigation attorney who I had a case with essentially curse out my AI. and
it's all recorded.
It's all funny because it's all recorded and it's all transcribed.
Did you send it to him?
Yeah, I sent it to him.
All right, today on the Rainmakers Network Podcast, we have Matthew Fornaro from Fornaro Legal. This is an unbelievable podcast. You're going to want to watch it because we are talking about the cutting edge AI tools that businesses and lawyers are using to level up and grow your business. You do not want to miss this episode. To a lot of your competitors, go to the Small Business Expo, because it's actually a brilliant idea. Like you mentioned, I went to the Small Business Expo,
yeah,
and then I was like trying to place like, is this the place to be?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, you're a business law attorney, of course,
yeah.
Perfect, because if it's small businesses, they're all going to be looking for someone who can help.
There was one other attorney who I actually know and I actually have a case against, and he was nice and everything, but we were the only two like business law attorneys there. I mean, there were like, like business immigration attorneys and like other, like first party claims attorneys and stuff like that, trying to, like shack up with like mold remediation companies and stuff like that. For the most part, it was just all B2B stuff.
Really? Yeah. I mean, that's a smart idea. I did Supercar Saturday a few times, and then I think there's another personal injury lawyer who has like a exclusive deal, so we've been excommunicated from there, but which was fun because we set up a tent, we had a bunch of swag and games and stuff, and it was actually a very, very fun time. We've thought about doing like little farmers market stuff. I think it's good just to get out in the community. But yours is very, very targeted, smart. Do you do any other expo stuff like that, like Chamber of Commerce?
That was like the first expo I did.
Really?
I used to do like BNI, which I've outgrown and nowhere near. I don't really do Chamber of Commerce or something. I have a business advisor guy that I've had for like the last 6 years since COVID.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of like one-to-one outreach, like person-to-person interaction stuff with referrals between like people who I know who introduced me to other people, and then like I actually build relationships with them and then go to other people. So that's kind of what my like what most of my outreach / networking stuff is. It's not going to like BCB. I used to be on the BCA board. I don't do that anymore. Like I don't go to like bar events or anything like that, but I meet all kinds of people who are like in, my wheelhouse of people who I want to meet, which are, like accountants, business bankers, commercial insurance agents, and then other attorneys are probably my best referral source. And then other like commercial litigation attorneys and stuff who are like big firms who either conflict it out or they're, it's not big enough for them. And then they just refer it to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And is that something that the coach has kind of helped you, guide you through that process and kind of be there and support you and say, hey, are your meetings all set up? Are you doing this? Doing that?
Yeah, he sets up the meetings and everything and he'll participate in them. And then we have like separate, like, like meetings that we host, like group meetings we host ourselves. It's all virtual. And then we do a few live things every year.
And is it that you're hosting those events, or is it like
both? He has some events, I have some events. His other clients have events, and then we all kind of like glom off of each other.
Is he part of a bigger company? Like there's companies called like Atticus. There's called like How to Grow a Small Law Firm. This is good.
No, this is his own thing. Yeah. So the referral navigator. His name's Jeff Talkman.
Referral navigator. Yeah. I love it. That's brilliant. And so he's also helped you kind of cultivate your own thing. Well, so it's interesting because the podcast is the Rainmakers Network Podcast.
Yeah.
And it started actually because a number of years ago, a few years ago, I hired like a person to help me with like pay-per-click, like online advertising, who said she knew what she was doing. So I expected to get personal injury cases, and she clearly did not know what she was doing because the phone started ringing a lot, except it wasn't injury cases. It was like business law cases. It was family law cases. It was real estate cases. It was like everything wrong. And I was like, what am I going to do with all these, like, I don't handle these cases. So we're declining a bunch. And I was like, wait a minute, why don't we start like a network where we can get these cases out to lawyers that we know and and that's how it actually started. So it became, it was like the Rosen Injury Law Referral Network. And then eventually it kind of grew into this group where we have dinners, we have regular events, we have the podcast, we have a whole bunch of stuff. And then I said, this thing is much bigger than Rosen Injury Law. It's not us. It's it's a group.
Yeah.
So we changed the Rainmakers Network.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And I think it sounds very similar to like, and I tell you, it's funny because like some of my best cases, and I'm sure you get the same thing, is like the best cases come from those people that you have built relationships with.
Yeah, because they're pre-vetted for the most part, at least in my line of work. I mean, it's not some lunatic or something, whatever. And, they're people for me who know business and know that, having an attorney is part of the business process and having legal expenses is part of the business process. So they're good. Yeah. Those are probably my best referrals.
Do you do in-house counsel, for companies, like, how like there's sometimes
like outside general counsel.
General counsel.
Yeah.
Is that something you do?
No.
Yeah. You started it at an Amlock 200?
Yeah. I started out a boutique firm in Boca Raton. There's still Andrew Schwartz, my friend to this day.
Yeah.
I won't call him my mentor because that's kind of a cliche term. I'll say he's my facilitator, and I still talk with him.
It must have been some level of a mentor.
Yeah. So, but I still talk to him like almost every day. We text each other. So then I decided I had to go work at, big law firms because I still had that bug in my ear from like law school of, you gotta work at big. So then I worked at Greenspoon Martyr, and then I worked at Schutz and Bowen.
Oh, wow.
And then I had the opportunity to go to Greenberg Traurig. And
how long were you there for?
I was at each of those for 2 years.
Damn, I didn't realize I'm like with the pedigree of elite, man.
And then I had this chance, I had the offer, and I was ready to go work at the West Palm Beach office of Greenberg Traurig doing commercial litigation. And then I was like thinking to myself, like, this is like 11 years ago. I'm like, am I just a merc? Like, what am I? Like, I show up and then like I just do my work, and then like, you have like the whole partner mentality, equity buy-in, origination versus realization, all the crazy stuff. And like, they don't really want you to do business development, but they do, and whatever. So then I'm like, where are we going to be? Like 2-3 years from now, I'm going to be like, well, where do I go now? I'm already in one of the 10 biggest law firms. Where is there to go?
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, well, this is probably my last chance at this point in my life to go do my own thing.
How old were you?
So I was 36, 30. So then I was like, all right, I'll start my own law firm, but what do I want to do? So then I was like, all right, well, I'm sick of going to like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, like to go arbitrarily do work. So I want to be out in the suburbs where I am. So I grew up in Coral Springs. I lived in Parkland.
Which was this book?
Stoneman Douglas.
Me too.
So yeah, graduated in 96.
Nice, 99. We were there probably the same time.
We had to be there at the same time. I was a big nerd though. You want to see me? Wow. So, but so then
do you remember the two kids there that were like 7 feet tall? Do you remember there was the two?
Yeah, the Allen's back brother.
Is that who they are?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I interrupted. We'll talk.
Yeah.
But all right, so you make this decision. It's you're 36 years old. You're at Greenberg Traurig. You're making a decision. Should I leave? Should I open my own practice? Go ahead.
Well, I'm about to be at Greenberg Traurig at Schutz and Bowen. I'm about to go to Greenberg Traurig, and I'm like, it's a huge raise and like whatever. Like, I'm just like, am I going to be here like in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years, and be like, well, I didn't really develop my own business. I'm still dependent on other people doing stuff. I'm still an at-will employee who can get killed at any time. So then I was like, all right. So then I figured I want to start my own law firm. I spoke with, my wife, my family, all that stuff. I figured out I wanted to like focus on, out in the suburbs where I am. Cause, there's, 100 or there's like 200,000 people where I live, combining Coral Springs, Parkland, and like the surrounding area. So I'm like, there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of business. So I want to focus on helping like, small business entrepreneurs and startups who I thought were underserved by like big law firms like I worked at because they weren't big enough for them or they weren't really attuned to what's going on. So that's how I picked my, my focus practice area. And then, I had no business training myself. I didn't know what the hell to do. I was a political science major. I didn't take business in high school or college. So it's a lot of like on the job training process of elimination, trial by error stuff. But now, 11 years later, I think I'm pretty proficient at running a business and advising others on how to run their business. So
You have your own hands-on experience.
yeah. So,
That's interesting that you say that, because you think about the business law attorneys that work at a big law firm that don't own their own business and they've never run their own business. So they don't know the perils and like the different things that come with running your own business.
yeah.
It feels like you have this extra plus, that you have a little bit more knowledge, right? Not just a little bit. I mean, you have like hands-on personal experience of running a business, profit and loss, hiring people, firing people, whereas they may not have that. That sounds like a plus. It sounds like a much better, like if I'm going to be opening a business, I would want to go to a lawyer like you who has actually gone through the ups and the downs and run the thing and grown and know the ins and outs, as opposed to a big law firm where you have a younger associate or somebody who's never had that experience.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, it's kind of like going back to law school, being a law student versus being like a practicing attorney. I know a bunch of theory and how to do stuff, but like actual practicum, like you don't know. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing where, you're advising people on how to do, you're advising them from a legal standpoint, but you're also helping them like make business decisions and do business stuff. And if you don't know how to do the business stuff or whatever, like how are you advising them about that when it's like, well, this lawsuit's going to do X, Y, and Z, but at the same time, okay, it's going to affect your cash flow. It's going to affect payroll. It's going to affect, expenses, whatever. Like, how does that affect your business from a holistic standpoint? And if you don't know that, it's like, how do you effectively counsel a business owner when you're just filling in one little portion of your pigeonholed like spec of what it is you're doing versus being able to advise them from like a global standpoint of, you're in business, your job is to make business decisions and do business stuff. My job as the attorney is to, do legal stuff, but also help you get back to making business decisions.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do. And if I don't have that background or that knowledge, it's kind of hard and kind of to be able to knowingly be like, you know what, you're probably going to save, $100,000 by not being involved in this lawsuit. And you're probably gonna be able to use that to invest in your business or, do whatever, yada, 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 versus, oh, let's just defend this lawsuit and see what happens. So, I
think it's so important. Like they bring that up, that like businesses have like someone that they could trust, someone that's actually a lawyer that they're like advising them in that respect. Because I think there's a lot of lawyers probably out there that it's commercial litigation or a business litigation case comes through the door. They look at it, they see, okay, I'm going to be able to bill X amount of time. It's going to take about this amount of time. The value to the lawyer's office is going to be X, Y, and Z. And, but like you said, they would be in the position to advise the client, listen, you could probably get this thing done or just resolve. Don't even do it. Don't even go after the litigation. Just let it go. It costs you $25,000 of a loss. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be paying $125,000 in legal fees, which is, so important.
No, it's true. I mean, look, if you're involved in a lawsuit, even if, at least from a commercial litigation standpoint, I mean, it is a time costing process. It is a money costing process, even if you, win, whatever that means. Okay? So it's taking time. If you're a business owner or running a business or whatever, it's taking time out of your business. I mean, it's in your head, it's messing with you, whatever. And there's a premium for you to be focused on doing your business and doing business stuff and not worrying about legal stuff. And so, I mean, you may pay, $5,000-$10,000 more now to fix something, but that's not, keeping you up at night. And it's not something you're worrying about 6 months from now or whatever. It's out and you're, making your widgets or delivering your widget or whatever your business is, as opposed to being like, oh, I got to sit for a deposition or I got to go to mediation or, there's a trial where I have to show up for like 10 days straight of, not doing work on my business. So it all goes into, the analysis and not just the attorney at law thing, but the counselor at law thing about trying to give them like good advice as far as not just legal advice, but like business advice.
Yeah. I think it's so important because, like I said, and there's that flip side of the coin where sometimes you have to file a lawsuit. Sometimes you have to pursue it, but having the right person so that, like you said, they can continue doing their job and that peace of mind that someone else is handling something. Like I think that's like for us, like with personal injury cases, car accident cases, it's like we're able to kind of lift that away from them. Don't worry about the legal stuff. Like we're not going to bother you. We're going to try to talk to you as minimal as possible, so we're not bothering you. You focus on going to get treatment, getting better, feeling better. Focus on your job. Focus on your family. While we can take that stress away, Yeah. And at the end of the day, we're going to do our best to get a great result for you.
Yeah. No, I try to do the same thing just from a business perspective. And then at the same time too, I mean, some business people just really aren't attuned to handling litigation. I mean, they're in their own world of doing whatever it is they do, and they operate at a high level and do it. And then the litigation just messes with their mind, and like, they don't know how to address it. And like, they obsess over it, they compulse over it. And, it's something where if you can take that away from them and let them focus on whatever, or even if you do have to have a lawsuit or whatever, you manage it and do whatever and keep it off their plate. It's always helpful for them.
Yeah, litigation can be stressful. Listen, I use a lawyer for our business. Not so much like the business side of stuff, more like human resources kind of, just be able to bounce things off of questions. It's just nice to have someone like a lawyer's. It's always good to have lawyers. Always, man,
No, it's true. I mean, having a business law attorney, if you have a business, it's like a necessity. It's like having an accountant, having a commercial banker. I mean, you have to have all these people if you're going to run a successful business.
Yeah. I just finished this. I don't know if we do the CLE stuff, but I just finished because my CLE stuff is coming up at the end of this month, the continuing legal education. So I'm cramming some stuff in. And I just did the update for civil trial and business litigation certification, which is great because it's like you get 15 hours. And you can do it over a 2-day period and get it done. But there was a lot of interesting stuff about like AI and the idea of this electronic discovery. Are you seeing a lot of AI in your practice and how it's being used?
Yes, I'm a huge AI proponent.
Now we got to talk about it.
All right. So, but the first and last thing I'll say about AI is I responsibly and ethically use it. I make sure I'm in charge of it. I make sure I look at everything that goes out and fact check and legal check and cite it and do everything. But AI is huge. I mean, it's probably the biggest technological thing in my entire legal career by far, as far as what it can do, how it can help you, the time it can save and whatever. But it's like with any technology tool, it's dangerous when it's in the wrong hands. It's dangerous when it's used improperly. And unfortunately, our profession, we've seen lazy attorneys, we've seen dumb attorneys, we've seen naive attorneys give AI a bad name very early on because they just hit print or hit send and didn't, do any quality control on the stuff. And now that's the foundation that's laid down, is that, AI, whatever, versus like, no, AI is a force multiplier. AI allows me to do way more than I used to be able to do. It allows me to help a lot more people than I used to help. But like I said, buck stops with me. I make sure that I'm in charge of it. I make sure that, it's all quality controlled and checked and everything. And, that's how it's got to be. And if you don't do that, you're going to have hallucinated cases. You're going to have crazy things. Like just before I showed up here, I actually had a hearing in, a couple of hearings, but I had one hearing on Zoom in Broward County, where I was waiting for my case to be called. And there's a pro se defendant who was on with another attorney before me. And the guy is just like phonetically parroting things that are in a AI response that he wrote, and has no idea what he's talking about. Like it was a breach of contract case, right? Yeah. So he's the defendant. He's talking about how he's trying to compel arbitration and all this other stuff. And the judge is like, Where's
no arbitration clause.
There's no arbitration clause. What are you doing? And then he was like, I thought, I got it off AI, Your Honor. And the judge is basically like, I'm denying everything. Like, I'm going to send you my divisional AI order. And then that was it. And then it was on to me, who I was like, that was interesting to watch. So
that is very interesting. Yeah, there, and I've heard about it, and it was talked about it on the CLE stuff. But I guess there's just been a number of lawyers that have decided that they will ask ChatGPT or whatever AI about a case that was decided in Florida, and it will spit out stuff that's just completely not true. and then they will they've submitted to the court.
Yeah.
Then there was a judge that ordered the lawyer to go back and tell me the exact citations.
Yeah.
So he went back and he asked ChatGPT
Yeah.
or whatever it was, what are the citations? And it hallucinated fake cases, and then he submitted it to the judge again, and it was like, the guy's in trouble. Now he's getting referred to the bar, and it's like, how do you do that? I feel like what's scary about that is that every single law student and person who becomes a lawyer, you would think the very basic of ever submitting a case to a judge is to shepherdize it. It's like you go to Westlaw, you find the case, you look at the citations, you see how it where did it come from and where was it going, and then what cites it and what's the pedigree of that case. That's like law school 101.
Yeah.
I agree that there should be sanctions, there should be penalties for lawyers that somehow don't do that. That's just number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the most basic thing.
Yeah.
And
no, I mean, it's,
like you said, it's some of these early, lazy, dumb, or whoever they are lawyers that just decide to cut corners, make a bad name for AI.
Yeah. No, it's true. And AI, I use AI in my legal practice. I use AI in running my business, and I use AI in my social media SEO and stuff. And it's great. But like I said, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
So, I take full responsibility over it. I make sure I check everything that goes in and out, but there's great AI stuff for any industry. I mean, there's great AI stuff for the law. There's great AI stuff for accounting. There's great AI stuff for everything. There's great general AI stuff. It's just, you got to put the human touch on it and be in charge of it.
Yeah. So we just started using a tool. It's called Depositions by Filevine, and I'm waiting for it to roll out. I've tested it and stuff. We have a few depositions scheduled, but have you heard of it?
Yeah. I know Filevine.
Yeah, no. So Depositions by Filevine, it's interesting because it was purchased from a guy up in Boca. He was a former prosecutor, super nice guy. Eric Baum created a company called Parrot. And what it was is it was like a Zoom deposition platform, just normal Zoom deposition platform, but it had an AI and very highly technical audio transcription service that is very, very accurate.
Yeah, I've actually used Parrot back in the past.
So it was Parrot, and so now Filevine bought Parrot.
Yeah.
But we tested it out, and just unbelievable because A, you're sitting there being able to ask questions. B, it's actually giving you that real-time transcription, which we love. If whenever you're in court and you're watching a real-time transcription, or if you're in a deposition, it's just nice to have it to be able to kind of look over the transcript. You can get a rough copy of that transcript literally that day. As soon as you're done, what's the point of ordering the transcript if you're not, if you don't need to use it for a summary judgment or whatever, you can just have the transcript. It'll summarize it for you. And then there's a whole AI separate tool that kind of can help track whether the witness has answered the actual question that you asked, or if they were trying to hedge, or if there's other points that you want to get to, you can kind of feed it into the AI and it'll help kind of remind you to go back. You got to answer this question, ask that question. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it in action.
It's great. The deposition stuff is great. I know Veritex has their own AI.
Really?
They have their own AI. US Legal has their own AI that kind of does a little bit not as in depth as that, but they do stuff where they real time, put out the stuff, and then they do synopsises of the deposition for you for free because the AI just does it for you.
Yeah.
And then it's the witness was evasive for the following questions, and it lists all the questions, and it's the witness did this and it's pretty interesting stuff.
Tell me what are your game-changing tools, if you want to share them, for the AI that you're using in your business that other lawyers could use?
Sure. I mean, obviously Westlaw Co-Counsel is probably the best. And
tell me, just tell me what it is, because I have Westlaw. I haven't gotten into any of their AI stuff. But go ahead.
So, all right. So, Co-Counsel, just like you were talking about, Parrot was its own company back in the day. Co-Counsel was its own company for years, and they were at the cutting edge of thoughtful, invasive legal research, and then it came into AI, and then Westlaw essentially, I guess, figured we got to get in the AI business. Let's buy it. So they bought it, and they've improved it since then. So Co-Counsel is essentially a closed universe AI tool for the legal profession, where it can essentially do anything you want regarding any legal practice, whether it's drafting, litigation, or whatever. It'll take, this dude filed a complaint. Please look at it and tell me what you think about it. And then it'll do like the legal analysis and pull all the cases and be like, this guy didn't state a cause of action for, breach of contract. Here's the case law that says that he didn't do it. Or, he'll file like a motion for summary judgment and it'll say like, this case sucks or this case doesn't exist
Really, it'll
or whatever.
analyze all the cases that are cited
Yeah,
within
because it's pulling straight from Westlaw. So then it'll help you write stuff. It'll help you analyze stuff. It'll help you like, you can put a deposition in there and it'll go through it. It does a ton of things. It's great. That's probably my primary biggest AI tool I have.
How's the cost? Because I've seen there's some AIs out there that are just extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Is the cost unreasonable or reasonable?
The whole thing with Westlaw is like,
I think they're high priced, but it's worth what you're getting.
I mean, I deal with it from a little guy perspective, like, my tube user license I have or whatever. Okay. So obviously Westlaw has, millions of different price points and whatever.
Sure.
Like I know I pay for my unlimited regular old fashioned Westlaw and then my co-counsel and whatever, it's like $1,300-ish a month, I think.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, for unlimited stuff for Florida federal and then the full co-counsel. But I also have, because they have like an integrated AI thing, so they have like 2 levels of AI, and I don't want to talk too much about like, what Westlaw is doing because, I'm just a customer and whatever. But so they have a deep think option, which is what I have, which does deep think analysis of things. So it's not just a topical analysis. It's like, it'll take like 15 minutes to half an hour to do something, but it's like going through everything in the world when it does it. And then it gives you a thorough work product.
Wow.
So that's what I have is the deep think option. So I use the deep think as much as possible.
This is part of the deep think co-pilot.
The
co-counsel, excuse me.
Yeah.
See, dude, this is why I love these podcasts because it just helps me level up. You know what I mean?
Because if you're not in the know, you're not going to know this because you're an attorney. You get solicited for stuff 24/7.
Yeah.
And there's so much noise out there. You can't figure out what's working and what's not. But that's been great since before Westlaw got it, and it's great now, and it's totally integrated into the Westlaw universe. So you still have to fact check it, you still have to legal cite it or whatever, but because it's a closed universe, it's not going to hallucinate and give you a bunch of nonsense or whatever.
What's beautiful about it is since it's a closed universe, I'm sure there's a link to the actual case.
No, it has all the cases that you just link to and be like, that's a real case.
Yeah.
Or, and when it does the analysis of like the other guy's stuff, it's like, that's not a real case or whatever.
Really?
So, yeah.
Has that happened before? Have you loaded something in and it's like, nope, that was hallucinated?
No, I surprisingly haven't been hit with any hallucinated stuff yet. I think, the thing with the hallucinated stuff, it's really interesting because for like a Chat GPT or like a Claude or like, like a large language model, open universe or whatever, what's really interesting is the hallucinations aren't like the citations are wrong, they're made up or they don't exist. But the propositions of law are many times correct. It's just it made up a case, but the proposition of law that it's citing for is right, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's not like it stands for something crazy where it's like, there's no such thing as judicial review or like just crazy stuff like no, it's like it says the right stuff. It just makes up the citation or whatever for the most part. It does make up some of the wrong stuff sometimes, but
I like using like ChatGPT for like kind of like health, fitness, diet, that kind of stuff and things like that and like supplements. But what I've noticed when it comes to like legal stuff, because I recently had some legal stuff that was more personal, not related, not like unrelated to my law practice that I was running questions about. And what I noticed is like ChatGPT, and this is like kind of known, like wants to tell you what you want to hear almost. It wants to cater to you, wants to make you happy. And it was so weird because I would ask it certain questions, how different laws apply, this and that, and it would kind of lean one way, and then I'd be like, then I'd do some actual legal research and like dig into statutes and actually look, and then I'd challenge it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you for clarity. And it would come back and be like, like it was completely wrong a bunch of times.
No.
And there was a couple times it was very completely wrong. A couple times it actually led me to like amazing Florida bar journals that just like were like, oh my God, that's directly on point. That just saved the case kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess sometimes, like you said, you got to use it wisely and be wary, and you need to be that in person as a lawyer.
No.
You got to do your own research. You know, if it's saying a statute says something, look at the statute, read it carefully, because who knows, there could be exceptions in there, and I don't know. What other are there any other AIs tools that you're using in business wise other than the Westlaw co-counsel?
Yeah. For the law stuff I use now, I have Clio as my
Got
CMR.
it. Yeah.
So Clio is big now into AI. They have multiple AI platforms. So I have Clio Work, which is essentially, it takes it has its own law library that's a closed universe library, and then because it's your case management software, it has your all the documents you upload and all the stuff in there, so it learns. So like, the Smith case, right?
Sure.
It'll have all your emails from the Smith case. It'll have all your depositions, the pleadings, the discovery responses, whatever, and it'll always know about the Smith case. So then it'll help you like do something where it's like, oh, this dude filed like, whatever, like a motion for summary judgment. I want to respond to the motion for summary judgment. Okay, well, it knows all about your case.
That's cool.
So it'll help you put together like, okay, well, if we pull all of these facts from, the discovery responses, and then it can also do like the legal research component or whatever, and it'll help you put together stuff like that. So it's pretty good. I don't think it's good as co-counsel, just my opinion, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's like an add-on to my Clio, which is another cost of doing business thing, because you have to have whatever. So I'm like, all right, it's marginal to add to my Clio anyway, so I might as well have it and have another tool to do stuff with. So that's great. Those are probably the law specific AI things that I use the most, and then I use AI for other stuff in my business.
Yeah.
No.
Like, is it like phone answering?
Oh, yeah.
Or like
I have AI answering thing. I put that in for January 1st because my, my real office in the real world in Coral Springs, they used to answer the phone, and it was part of my rent. And then they were like, okay, well, we're going to answer the phone, but we're going to add it as a separate thing. And I'm like, what? So now they wanted like $100 a month to do that. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And then it was all right. So I paid it. And then they moved it off site. So it was a remote call center that was answering my phone. And like people would be like, well, I'm on my way to Matt's office. Where is it? And it's like, someone in like Illinois, like, I don't know. Like,
really?
Let me pull it up on Google. So I'm like, this sucks. So part of my language. But I'm like, all right, so I have to get like a dedicated like answering thing because I'm paying for it anyways. I might as well do whatever. So I did a bunch of research. Having like a live call, like legal dedicated call center or whatever is like surprisingly not, I mean, it's not expensive, but it's not as cheap as you think it would be.
Yeah, sure.
So then I'm like, all right, let me look at AI, because for my purposes, for my business, obviously you guys have a much more like bigger intake process and time is of the essence. People are looking for people as quickly as possible. Mine is like more measured and not as time intensive. Obviously it is time intensive or time sensitive, but it's not as like lightning fast or whatever.
Immediate,
So unless it's the court's on the phone or some crazy stuff like that, it's like I can have a message sent to me in response. So I'm like, all right, how much is AI to do it? And the AI is, my thing is $50 a month.
Really?
So
tell me what happens. So someone calls the phone and then what answers? Explain it.
The AI answers, but it's not like.
Is it a voice though? Is it someone's talking?
It's not choppy AI. It's like smooth AI. Like you would think it's a person.
No way.
And it's like totally interactive, and it learns, and you can tell it stuff. So then if you call my office, it's like, hi, this is, business law attorney Matthew Fornaro's office. How may I help you? And then they say something, and then depending on what they say, it has like, like a tree of where it shoots out the next response to. Are you a new client? Are you an existing client? Are you the court or the clerk? Are you, trying to sell me stuff? Are you whatever? And then basically it figures out where to go and what to do. And then essentially if it's like a new client or an existing client or whatever, it gets all the contact information. It gets the name, address, phone number, email address, what they want, whatever. If it's like the court or the clerk, like, the red phone goes off and it'll automatically forward it to me. And then it'll send me a real-time email and text message immediately with the full transcript.
Whoever called, someone called.
Yeah, the full transcript with all the information. And then if it's someone new or whatever, I, call them back as soon as I can, or email them back or text them back or whatever. And then it's unlimited. It works 24/7, and that's it. And so I put it in January 1st. I was going to be like, all right, let me test it for a month, see if it works. It did. And so far, we're in April. I've had, I understand some people aren't going to be like into like AI receptionists, whatever, but
Sure.
it is 2026. That's pretty common to be dealing with AI stuff. And I haven't seen any adverse effects from it. It's interesting. I had one weird thing happen that I'll tell you about in a second.
Yeah.
But other than that, people who want to speak to me go along with the AI. They're not like hostile towards it or whatever. They just want to give them my
So
contact.
funny that you say that, but keep going. Yeah.
They want to, give it the information so that I get the information. I can call them back, email them back, text them or whatever. Or if it's opposing counsel, have Matt, Matt, can you email me? Can you call me? Or, new client, please call me or whatever. Or if it's a salesperson, it's killed the solicitation industry for me. These people, because they know they're not getting through, so they hang up, and then I check the caller ID and it's like, yeah, it's a sales thing or whatever. But the only weird thing that's happened where someone's like and I did for the first 60 days, I actually would speak to people when I call them back, and I'd be like, hey, how was my AI? And they'd be
getting
like,
feedback. That's smart.
yeah, I did follow up with like opposing counsel, clients, prospective clients, whatever. And I had no problem. I've had 3 attorneys ask me to send them my AI information because they want to implement it themselves. The only weird thing I ever had was I had a really well-known board-certified construction litigation attorney who I had a case with, essentially curse out my AI, and it's
all recorded.
It's all funny because it's all recorded and it's all transcribed.
Did you send it to him?
Yeah, I sent it to him.
That's so funny.
I'm like, because I have a good relationship with him,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
funny.
not to be mean or anything, but I'm like, we'll call him Bob. I'm like, Bob.
Yeah.
I'm like, you realize everything you just said to my AI like is recorded and transcribed. I'm like, here's your transcript. Like,
so funny.
just, if you need me, email me or whatever, but don't curse out my AI because I'm just telling you. I'm not doing anything with this or whatever, but if you do that to whatever, something could happen. But that's my only weird experience with the AI answering was that. Otherwise, it's been great, cost effective, cost saving, and, it gets all the contact information. It does everything, and, it's fine for what I do. So it's good.
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know that I'm ready to make that jump because I'd like, we're like you said, we're in a business where if someone calls with an accident case, it's such an important phone call. It's new case, most important call. Stay on it. Get it over to one of the lawyers live so we can speak and talk to them and help them out. But it's funny that you say that because I had to schedule my car to bring to the dealership.
Yeah.
And they started using AI to schedule the things, and it just couldn't. Like I was calling and I'm like, all right, and they're like, when would you like to schedule the appointment? I'm like, well, Monday. And then, but like it couldn't, like, okay, so you want it for Tuesday. And I was like, well, and I lost it. When I say I was like, but it took a few minutes for me to like lose my temper. But like I did lose it to the AI. So there's definitely a recording out there.
Yeah. But no, this AI is great. It's learning. It's like agenic. So I can email, like I have a real human customer service person. So I just email him anytime I see something's weird on the transcript or I want it to like focus more on something, and he'll program it, and then it'll program itself and refine it. So
you'll have to send me the information.
Yeah, it's like a way better system now than it was when I put it in January, and it's only getting better.
Does your business coach help you with that aspect of your business, or is he more of a growth connection networking business?
He's more of a growth connection. I actually help him with the AI stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he has his stuff, like, it's all growth connection, interpersonal relationship, like, get on a Zoom call, meet in person, whatever. It's funny because I help him out with his AI stuff because I'm pretty proficient at it. Not to be like that's my thing,
No,
whatever,
man, listen,
but
you're ahead of the curve.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You're ahead of the game.
But yeah, so I help him out with his AI stuff.
I have a very good friend, actually, she was my associate. She became my trial partner, and she's a fantastic lawyer. She's actually come by the office in a few weeks just to go over some of the AI tools that she's using, because I really want to see what's the next step. You know, because if you're not staying up with the time, with the trend, you know, not just it's just the technology, because it's so far, and like you said, it just makes things so much more efficient. You know.
Yeah, but at the same time too, like I told you before, you know, you're flooded with so much noise on your email, your social media, whatever, of just crap. Like, I mean,
you don't know what's good.
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
Bad.
You don't know what's good, what's bad, what works, what doesn't, what's good for your industry, your practice, and what's not, and it's hard to figure out. When you figure it out and it's good, it's great.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you know you gotta kiss a lot of frogs.
Well, listen, it's funny because we're sitting here talking, like I jumped into the depositions by Filevine because I love Filevine. I've been using it for years. I just love the tool. I have a lot of different integrations with it. You know what I mean? Their AI that they've offered on cases is outrageously expensive, so I refuse to just get involved in it because it's just stupid. It's like it's multiple times what it costs me to just have Filevine. You know what I mean? It's like it's just like this. It's a multiplier, an unnecessary multiplier, and then then it's an additional cost for the client that I don't want to have to bear burden them with at the end of the day. But it's funny because I got into I love the product, the deposition by Filevine, and I'm getting started with it. I never checked with the other court reporting agencies to see, hey, what's their AI? What are they able to do? I'm I got a 1-year deal to do it and test it out, and I'm willing to do it because it's not like a crazy price. It actually, if it works out according to plan, it's going to actually save quite a bit of money for the firm and the clients. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
But like I said, I mean, it's you gotta, and it goes back to the old thing, like I do with my business. My business guy is like, the best referral is from another professional or from, word of mouth or
current or
from
former
someone.
clients. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the AI. I mean, talk to someone who uses it and knows what they're doing versus, being like, oh, this looks great on my LinkedIn feed or this looks great on Facebook. And then you're like,
LinkedIn has gotten so terrible.
Yeah. LinkedIn is, it's very interesting because all I do is get feeds all day long to buy crap. So
I just get, I don't, what's tough about LinkedIn, which bothers me the most, and again, maybe there's an AI tool for it, is that 99.99% of messages that come in are just all sales.
Yeah.
And so what happens is because you're just inundated, you can get 20 a day, 30 a day, like just some crazy number.
Yeah.
You miss like that one or two where like a law student reaches out for advice or a colleague has a question. It's just gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I can't keep up. I don't keep up with it. So it's like, I wish maybe there's a filter that, I'm sure there is a filter where I could just start not blocking people, but just filter out sales. The problem is anyone who does like a connection, I just accept, but
no, everyone wants the biggest LinkedIn network possible, but
I mean, I just accept it, but and sometimes there's like a warning you get from LinkedIn being like, do you actually know that, like, who is this person?
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
but I think I've known people that have had a lot of good success, I think, posting on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's created like other lawyers and other professionals see it and they appreciate it, and then they can build relationships. I mean, listen, I guess that's how we met, right?
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
That's how we got connected.
Yeah.
Luckily, my message got through. So
your message got through.
Yeah, I wasn't spammed out, but I wasn't also trying to sell you anything or make you sign a services contract.
I got to go look. I want to look back at our exchange to see see exactly what.
But I mean, that's LinkedIn's great, but and then I was talking to my business guy. Since it was bought out by Microsoft, he's had issues where he keeps his database of names and contacts or whatever, and it's been harder to get the names of like real people and real people's email addresses off of LinkedIn since it was bought out. Yeah,
that's another thing that they did. I think they've just done a poor job with is like, there could be a person that I've connected with that they're like a business law attorney or a real estate attorney or whatever, and I know they're in Fort Lauderdale. I can't remember their name, but there's no like good search tool. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you can search, I guess, your connection.
Yeah.
To quickly find who it was that I thought about. It's like once you connect and
it's unless you know their name,
gone.
that's the only way you can search. Just name and like that's it.
Facebook is kind of similar too. You know, there should be a better search tool to find people because they kind of get lost. You know. I mean, look, I'm sure it'll eventually come out. You know.
No.
I'm sure it'll eventually come out.
Facebook's another thing I don't even know what the hell's going on with Facebook anymore.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, are you big? Do you do social media stuff? Do you do Instagram and other platforms? Yeah.
Via my AI. Yeah.
Via your AI.
Yeah.
It's all. Is it posting it for you and stuff and doing really?
Yeah.
Very cool. So is that a separate tool that you use, like a social media AI tool?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you getting like response to it? Meaning like engagement?
Yeah.
Like really?
It's not AI slop or crap, it's real stuff.
Yeah.
Because like one of the things I use for my social media is this thing called blaze.ai.
Yeah.
All right. So there's probably like 20 different things that do the same thing. All right. This one, I did a bunch of research and figured out this was the best one at the time I signed up for it. So what it does, I just updated it 2 days ago, and you constantly update it and you tell it all about yourself and your business. And, you send it your website, you send it your social media,
who your target audience
you send
is,
it your target audience, your demographic, your competition, what your logo looks like, what colors you like, what your message and tone should be, anything you can sociologically think about. Okay, you put into it. Okay, and then what it does is on a daily basis, it comes up with. And it sends it out to you a week in advance. So you review it, make sure, it's cool, has everything you want, whatever. But a week in advance, it puts together your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your X, your LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram, and a specific email to your email list and a specific blog to your website. And it will automatically post it every day.
Really?
And so it sends it out every single day. It makes it custom for each platform. So it's not like the same headline for LinkedIn is the same headline for, like Instagram. It does it totally custom, and it's based totally on the data you put into it, and you approve it before it goes out. And then it figures out, like, it'll review, like, okay, what happened today? People didn't like this post. Okay, let's not do that again. Here's what we're going to do instead. And then it gets smarter as time goes on. And then next week, when it gives you more stuff, it figured out what it did right and what it did wrong the week before, and then puts it out. And it does it automatically.
What's your Instagram? What's your Instagram page?
Fornaro Legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fornaro_legal.
I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm just gonna take a look and go through it and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're saying is brilliant, and I'm sure that I'm sure you're also able to just like send it the videos you've already cut up and probably post those for you too.
Yeah. It does anything I want. It does it automatically, and like I said, I review and I approve it. It does it 24 hours a day.
Zach, you hear about this, man? You've heard about this?
I haven't, but I'm listening.
Yeah. And it's like this was, I got like the founder's rate because I jumped on this stuff early because I knew it was good. It's raised its price now.
Yeah.
But like I said, it does all the social media stuff for you. And then it also does your email list, and it does your blog on your website too.
Really?
And it's all SEO optimized stuff where it's like, for you to be like personal injury attorney, Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, car accident, malpractice, whatever. It'd have all that stuff in your blog and on your email that you send out. And then you review it. And if you don't like it, you change it. If you like it, you send it out, and it does it. It does the social media every day at different times. It figures out what times people most look at whatever, and it does it. It does the email probably 2 to 3 times a week, and then it does the blog every single day, and the blog's completely SEO optimized.
You load like an Excel spreadsheet with your email list. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Well, it goes it interacts with, if you have like MailChimp
Yeah.
or any stuff like that, it connects
It
directly to
all
MailChimp.
is connect. So it
Yeah.
all is integrated with all the different social media
Yeah.
platforms
Yeah.
and MailChimp, things
Yeah.
like that.
No. And now it's also integrated.
I quit, dude. I'm done with I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done. You know.
And it's also integrated now into your Google business profile.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. This whole conversation is freaking me out.
Yeah. But it's interesting because, you know, I can tell you, you know, from a business standpoint, I mean, this is stuff where, like, when I started my business 11 years ago, and I was like, oh, I got to get into social media. Like, you know, working at a big firm, I don't have to worry about social. What the hell is that?
Of course, yeah.
So, like, this is stuff that you would pay, like, a, you know, social media advisor or whatever, like, thousands of dollars to do, like, 10 years ago. And now it's $50 a month by AI, and it does a better job, and it will never fail you.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you know, all of these social media companies, these SEO companies, or whatever, you know, AI is really affecting their industry because what do? You know, I mean, it's like they're using, like, they're manually putting in stuff that the AI is doing, which, you know, is that worth 10 times the cost?
30 times the cost, 40 times the cost, 100 times the cost.
Exactly.
You're making me rethink my entire business because I spend a lot of money on a lot of different buckets of, of marketing tools, you know, of marketing
your
tools.
Industry,
you know?
I understand you have. I mean,
yeah, we got to.
I mean, it is an open trench warfare, and for personal injury and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you gotta, you know, John Morgan spends $300 million plus a year on advertising. I mean, crazy. You know, you gotta stake your claim against that. It's hard, but the AI is a great democratizing tool in being able to do that. And I know for me, it's put me in my Coral Springs Parkland business law mantra. It's put me in my Google top 3.
It's top, yeah.
And, you know, that's all I care about is my little hood and my little
You're not using it. You're not using any like an agency to help with search engine optimization. You're just using Blaze, or are you using other tools to help with search engine optimization?
I have another tool that I use for search engine optimization, search engine optimization. And then I keep my human, like, I guess you want to call him my webmaster or whatever. I keep him around because, like, you know, he's a cool guy. He designed my website, help me out. I keep him in the loop just so that we have control over everything in case, you know, the Terminator goes crazy one day and tries to kill everyone or whatever. We're in control. But yeah, that's what I'm using. It's working well.
All right, give me an overview of just the types of cases you handle in your practice.
Sure. So my practice, like I said, I help small businesses, entrepreneurs, and startups. 75% of what I do is litigation. 25% is transactional, you know, whether it's drafting documents, reviewing documents, contracts, LLC agreements, operating agreements, partnership agreements, articles of incorporation, stuff like that. Litigation is all business litigation. It's all breach of contract, business divorces, I owe you money, you owe me money, you didn't comply with my contract, I didn't comply with your contract, commercial real estate disputes, you know, we didn't close the deal right, you know, I hate my landlord, stuff like that. And that's essentially my entire litigation practice and my transactional practice.
And someone wants to get in touch with your law firm, how do they reach out?
Best way is just to go to my website, FornaroLegal.com, and it's got all the social media we just mentioned. It's got all my contact information. It's got all my blogs, my white papers, my videos, all that stuff. And if you can't answer the question, which I think you can at this point, there's so much crap on the website, just email me or call me.
And what's the name of the law firm?
Matthew Fornaro, PA, doing business as Fornaro Legal.
Fornaro Legal.
Yep.
All right, man. Listen, dude, this has been a really, really interesting podcast. I'm glad you came, and we're gonna I think this one actually is gonna get a lot of views because of the AI stuff for real. You know,
no, it's
just so important.
No, it's true. And like, you know, like I said, I'm pretty proficient in AI, but like, I know, like, just like you have your former associate, I have like my friend Rich Sierra, shout out to Rich. He's in a different plane of existence regarding AI. Like, he knows how to program the agents and do stuff that, you know, normal people won't even be worrying about for 5 to 10 years. So, I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm doing, but I'm always learning more, trying to do more.
Well, listen, if anyone like they're watching the video and they want to learn more about AI, can they reach out to you also?
Yeah, if they have questions, if any business owners or other attorneys have questions about like AI or like social media SEO optimization, whatever, and stuff like that, reach out to me. I'll be glad to help them because, I'm strangely proficient in it because I learned it the hard way. So, I'm not out there like being some guru charging for it. I'll just help you for free. I don't care.
That's awesome. All right, man. Listen, this has been fantastic, dude. And thanks for being on the podcast.
No, thanks for having me. It was great being here.
Awesome.